Why do you have so many subscribers but so few views on your videos? I'll explain exactly why and tell you why the word subscribe is no longer accurate and what it really should be called. Let me clean up and I'll see you in the office. I was in Trader Joe's when I hit 100,000 subscribers on my original YouTube channel. I got a call from my mom and a text from my best friend who'd been watching. Now, of course, 100,000 doesn't sound like much anymore, but this was 2011. That's like getting 1 million subscribers today. It felt like I had made it. I was on cloud 9, and then I very carefully made my next video because the pressure was on, you know? I mean, 100,000 people, if you just visualize how many people that is, they were signed up to watch my content. They were my subscribers. But my next video in its first week got around 14,000 views. Surely something was wrong. Maybe YouTube was broken that day or something. You know, we come up with all these theories. So I worked on my next video even harder, really put a lot of effort into it, and it got around 11,000 views. Talk about crashing. I went from super elated about my channel to downright depressed. Now, views sometimes rebounded with subsequent videos. I'd maybe hit 30,000 with one or even 50,000 in that first crucial week, but I rarely ever got back to that 100,000 count. So where were these 100,000 subscribers? I mean, they hit the subscribe button to get delivery of my videos. The very definition of the word is to arrange to receive something regularly, typically a publication. If you look around on YouTube, channels that are older than a year typically have this huge disparity of subs to views. Sound familiar? I know it does, because after I got hired at YouTube, it was one of the most asked questions in the 10 years I worked there in creator education. Well, I eventually figured it out, and I want to explain to you why it happens and how you can feel better about it. Reason number one for this disparity in subs to views: people hit that subscribe button with varying levels of interest. You got your super fans, of course, who intend to watch everything. You got people who kind of like you and watch some of your videos. You got people who watch for a few months and then got bored of that thing you do and never came back. Then you got people who saw one video and just wanted to give you a high five by subscribing, but actually had no interest in coming back, ever. And then, of course, there's everyone in between. While working at YouTube just last year, I interviewed Christos Goodrow, a VP of engineering on the Creator Insider channel, and he put it this way.
Subscription is some indication that the viewer is interested or has been interested in content from that channel. So it means something, and it's a place to start, but we can't, we can't rely on it as a way to find content that the viewer definitely wants to watch.
Number two, viewers have a ton of options. We got hundreds of cable TV channels, streaming services, social media sites, video games, and yes, millions of creators on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, etc. It's crowded. There's an overflowing surplus of stuff to watch. And you have to know that your subscribers aren't always going to choose your stuff. They might not even be watching YouTube at all this week. They might be binging on Wordle. And if you want a glimpse of these options you have just on YouTube, look inward. Go to your own YouTube page, go all the way to the left, on desktop by the way, click library, and then go look all the way to the right. And you see here on my old Matt Koval channel, I have 475 channels that I'm subscribed to. This week, I've probably watched content from 3 of them. What about you? But there's an even bigger reason, and it's related to the first 2. You guessed it. The algorithm. If YouTube's recommendation system detects that one of your subscribers has lost interest, the algorithm will stop showing that person your videos on the homepage and in suggested videos. In other words, the algorithm can virtually disconnect the subscription, not literally, but virtually, if it detects that the viewer isn't watching the content anymore. Of course, there's always the subscriptions tab, which is like the very last tiny island holdout that isn't filtered by an algorithm. But if you're subbed to more than 100 channels or more, that's a lot of videos to sift through on the subs tab. Your latest video will quickly get buried. And this is the reason, in my opinion, why the word subscribe has become totally inaccurate as YouTube has evolved. I think when the platform was first invented, the intention behind the subscribe button was to be a mechanism to deliver the channels that you signed up for, like a magazine subscription. But as YouTube evolved, the problem I mentioned before became clear. Lots of viewers were subscribing but not watching the videos from the channels they subscribed to. This was bad for YouTube, so they introduced recommendations and smarter algorithms, and it worked. Viewers watched a lot more content on YouTube from what the systems recommended because they were based on actual viewer behavior, not what viewers said they wanted. Of course, we can't forget the notification bell. You can still subscribe and then tap the bell. And to me, that feels like the true subscription mechanism now, because it delivers you the videos that you signed up for as soon as they're made public. So if the word subscribe is inaccurate, how should we think of it? I think the button should be called, are you ready for this? Like channel. And I think we shouldn't say, I have 50,000 subscribers, but rather, I have 50,000 channel likes. It's not as impressive, I know, but much more accurate and realistic based on how the current system works. Because these people who have clicked the big red button aren't necessarily being delivered your videos anymore or choosing to watch. Clicking that button is just another signal of satisfaction. So instead of, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, we could all say, hey, don't forget to like this video and like the channel. Boom. It's much more realistic and everyone would just feel a lot better about it. And don't be mad at YouTube. It's their platform. It's their users. Even your subscribers are their users and they can decide whatever they want to do with them. It's a big mistake to think otherwise. You're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment. As I talk about in this previous video, just trying to keep it real here, and I'll see you in the next one.